No, 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 no. It's dead. It's dead. The Falcons' Twitter is dead. No. The doctor, you have to revive him. You have to revive him. Do something. Okay. What do I do? Think. I don't know. Talk about the Falcons. Do something Falcons related. He'll wake up if you say something about the Falcons. Okay, Calvin Ridley is the best wide receiver in the league right now. No. Say something else. What do you want me to say? Just something. I don't know. Matt Ryan. Let's talk about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan. Falcons Twitter. It's alive. Oh my gosh, buddy, I thought I was gonna lose you. What is your opinion on Matt Ryan? Huh? What is your opinion on Matt Ryan? Oh, I mean, I don't think Matt Ryan is that good, but I think he... Buddy? Say that again, he is not elite. Something on those lines. You said he was not that good? Something on those lines? Maybe it's best if we just put this back to rest. Yeah, I agree with that. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Wrestling Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. Yeah, you probably saw the thumbnail of this video and you were like, I would love to hear this guy talk about why the Atlanta Falcons, out of all teams, are a sleeper playoff team heading into 2021. Click. Well, while most people don't really believe in the Atlanta Falcons heading into the year, and I admit as a fan I was one of them, things have changed a little bit, and I hope that these 3 reasons on why the Atlanta Falcons could be a sleeper playoff team heading into the year could maybe open your mind to this team a little more and could make you realize, well, anything is possible. Now, obviously this doesn't guarantee they make the playoffs this year, but maybe it could make you open your mind up to this team and realize maybe it's not that ridiculous to think they're a sleeper playoff team. Reason number 1 is they have potential to have one of the best offenses in the league. Now, I know what you're going to say. The Falcons always have one of the better offenses in the league every single year, and they never make the playoffs. And while I don't blame you, first off, stay tuned for reasons 2 and 3 on this video, and they'll make reason number 1 sound a little bit better. But reason number 1, let's talk about it. Let's be real, this is an offensive league. Look at all the recent Super Bowls. A lot of offensive-minded head coaches have made it. Kyle Shanahan, technically, in 2016. Dan Quinn was not the reason the Falcons made the Super Bowl in 2016. It was Kyle Shanahan. He is an offensive-minded coach. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson with the Eagles was offensive-minded. Sean McVay with the Rams in 2018. And then you had Bruce Arians with the Buccaneers in 2020, Andy Reid with the Chiefs in 2019 and 2020, Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers in 2019. I mean, look at all of those offensive-minded head coaches. And you know the only defensive-minded head coach, not including Dan Quinn, that made the Super Bowl in recent years? Dating back to 2016, Bill Belichick. But can you really even compare him to any defensive-minded head coach? He's like one of a kind. He's like considered to be the best coach of all time. If you look at any other defensive-minded head coach, look at the recent playoffs. You know, like the Kevin Stefanski-led Browns, an offensive-minded head coach, beat the defensive-minded Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Sean McVay, the offensive-minded head coach with the Rams, beat Pete Carroll, the defensive-minded head coach for the Seahawks. That was this year. So to me, you need an offensive-minded guy mainly to go far in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying defensive-minded coaches can't work, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Offensive-minded coaches usually go farther than defensive-minded. And thankfully, now that Dan Quinn is gone, the Atlanta Falcons actually have an offensive-minded head coach in Arthur Smith. Now, I'm not going to stop there. That is not the sole reason on why the Falcons could have a great offense in 2021. I'm also going to say that Arthur Smith has the potential to bring in the formula that seemingly always works in Atlanta, which is utilizing the tight ends, the running backs, and play action. Looking at 2012 and 2016, that's what the Falcons did all the time with Tony Gonzalez, and the running game was just working really well in 2012, and Matt Ryan always was using play action in 2012. They made the NFC Championship nearly a Super Bowl. And then in 2016, Kyle Shanahan utilized play action, Austin Hooper, the tight end, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, the running back, and they made the Super Bowl and almost won. So seemingly that formula seems to work in Atlanta, and Arthur Smith is actually bringing back that formula. I mean, like, is that something you want to hear as a Falcons fan? Like, I want to hear that. And then let's also talk about the players here. You also need a really good quarterback to succeed in the NFL. And whether you like it or not, Matt Ryan is still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And it's not even just statistically, because statistically, I don't remember him reaching under 4,000 yards for the season, at least recently. But also, just looking at the film, he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league. And you need an accurate quarterback. While I was critical of him in game-winning drives, for the most part, he's a really good decision maker throughout the entirety of the game. And you need a good decision maker in the NFL. He's also slightly a little mobile, kinda, and he's also a very healthy quarterback. And he utilizes the players around him, and he makes all of them look a lot better. Some people say Roddy White didn't take off in the NFL till he played with Matt Ryan. Taylor Gabriel was a nobody till he played with Matt Ryan. Austin Hooper, when he left Matt Ryan, he didn't really do that good with a different quarterback. So to me, I think Matt Ryan actually utilizes the players around him. And there's also some really good playmakers he's working with. Calvin Ridley, we all know what he's capable of. Kyle Pitts is maybe just as good as advertised. And then Russell Gage proved me wrong. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he was in 2020. And then just some other no-names that you probably never heard of if you're not a Falcons fan. Olamide Zaccheaus and Christian Blake, they actually kind of stepped up with Matt Ryan. Now, the only thing I admit is now that Julio Jones is gone, a lot of those receivers are going to have to step up a little bit more because there's no veteran receiver to coach them up. But like I said, Matt Ryan knows how to utilize the players around him. So hopefully the players around Matt Ryan can work with him, and with a great quarterback, good playmakers, and an offensive-minded head coach that maybe is as good as advertised, especially in an offensive league, keep an eye out on the Atlanta Falcons simply because of that high-octane offense that they could have in 2021. The second reason on why the Falcons could be a sleeper playoff team, and usually I say this every year and I'm kind of crossing my fingers hoping it works again, maybe, just maybe, the defense could be fixed, and here's why. Dean Pease, the new defensive coordinator, is maybe a proven head coach if you look at his resume. If you look at his resume, he's actually worked with seemingly a really, really good team all the time. Like, he coached with the 2007 New England Patriots, the undefeated, or nearly undefeated, New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Don't you think we want to get some Bill Belichick knowledge on defense? And then he also coached the 2012 Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl defense, which was really good. And then he was with the Tennessee Titans with Mike Vrabel really recently. So if you look at the history with Dean Pease, and I have a whole other video talking about Dean Pease on how the lowest defense he's ever had was top 15, which I know that doesn't sound great, but let's be real, for our sake, for the Falcons, it's kind of good because our defense can't even get to the top 20. But anyway, usually his defense is always in the top 10, the top 8 usually. Top 15 was just the worst that it ever got. So what I'm trying to say is maybe we have a proven defensive coordinator finally, and it could have been something the Falcons needed. And also, it's not like he has no one on defense to work with. He's got finally a player that I think people are recognizing in Grady Jarrett. He is obviously an elite player. And then Deion Jones, Foye Oluokun, Michael Walker, one of the best, if not the best linebacker cores in the league. And then an upcoming star in AJ Terrell. So it's not like there's a bunch of nobodies on the defense, but I will admit, the defense could bring in a little more players. But anyway, point is, Dean Pease is maybe a proven defensive coordinator, and there's not nobody on the team, so maybe it could work out and we could just have that defense we needed. And the third reason on why this team could be a sleeper playoff team into 2021 is because they have kind of that underdog, why not us mentality. Because in recent years, I feel like they kind of had the nod every time. Like after the Super Bowl, oh, they maybe lost Kyle Shanahan, but they'll be fine. They still got Steve Sarkisian. He could be fine. And then, they just got injured in 2018. They'll be fine. They'll come back into 2019 and they'll bounce back. They fought for Dan Quinn. So, it's like they fight for each other and they have that chemistry, and maybe that chemistry for fighting for their coach and their team. And they just had the nod every single time. Whereas, who in the world believes in the Atlanta Falcons heading into 2021? A lot of people are saying they're too young and inexperienced. They don't know what it takes just yet. They need to experience what it's like in the NFL first. Well, I'm going to fit their shoes for just a second. I'm 22 years old, and I definitely don't blame anyone. If someone says that you are too young and you don't have any experience in this and you need to do this and that before you do this and that, let's be real, when someone tells us that, if we're too young to do this, don't we kind of get a little triggered on the inside? We're like, okay, keep saying I'm too young and clueless because I'm not. I'll prove you wrong. I kind of don't blame the Falcons. They're probably going to look at this and say, okay, think we're clueless, think we're too young, but we'll go in and do our thing. We literally saw their next door neighbor, the Atlanta Hawks, have the same type of story. Everyone was saying, they're too young, too inexperienced. And they're like, okay, prove us wrong. I guess maybe we are too young, but we'll show you what we got, but maybe you're right. And they proved them wrong, by the way. So with all of that being said, I hope I changed your mind a little bit on the Atlanta Falcons, but we will just see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with a video this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support, and as always, rise up.